Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Mandalika in Indonesia for qualifying for GT World Challenge Asia. It's our second weekend of 6 and we are once again at this wonderful island of Lombok, just outside Kuta on the southern parts of the island, an almost brand new racetrack for the world of motorsport, built for MotoGP, for world superbikes. But we are profiting from it as well. There are the palm trees that line the beach, which is literally just beyond that barrier of secret surf spot for many, many years. And now it is our place to enjoy. There is a few people down at Kite Beach as well, enjoying the waves this morning. There's beautiful blue sky. The last time we came here, last year around this time, we had some pretty evil thunderstorms, but there does not seem to be those lurking this year. So we can enjoy the sun, we can enjoy the blue sky and a slight breeze, but the drivers will not be enjoying the mega humidity that we have on this island. And it does seem to ebb and flow quite a lot, especially if you've had rain overnight. Yesterday was just horrible. So we started our season in Sepang. We are here now in Indonesia, and then we've got 2 races in China and 2 races in Japan. Don't forget that when we finish our season at the start of October, we will be in E-Town in Beijing on the streets. What a challenge that racetrack was last year, and excited to go back there for round 11 and 12 of our 26 calendar. Just a few minutes before qualifying commences, and alongside me, as we had in Sepang, I'm glad to welcome Sandy Stuvik, who's done a couple of laps around this circuit on Thursday in practice. Sandy, you like this track, don't you?
Hi Ben, thanks for having me again. And yeah, what a layout. Honestly, it was my first few laps here on Thursday, but the layout is fantastic. It's so fun to drive, so it was a pleasure.
Challenging corners we see there on the track map?
Yeah, certainly. You've got a lot of high-speed corners, which is great for these GT3 cars, and then some heavy braking, so we should see a lot of overtaking. And then you've also got quite a few high-speed sweepers as well, so it's a great mix of corners on this fantastic track.
Difficult one to get a setup purely for the full track, because it's quite nadgery at the start and the end of the lap, and then of course, as you said, medium to high-speed corners everywhere else.
Yeah, especially that penultimate corner, the tight hairpin there. I mean, towards the end of the lap, we might see some cars starting to struggle with the rears, and you really need good traction out of the last 2 corners. So that will be interesting to see how it plays out this qualifying.
Akish Nandi there, number 29, not the only driver to be on his own this weekend, because at the front of the queue in the number 50 machine, which by the way is Garage 75's Ferrari, just to confuse matters, is, I'm going to say, the most famous current Indonesian motorsport driver, Sean Galile. We'll get to that in a few moments' time. Sean Galile will lead the cars out onto the circuit. He's got a mammoth amount of fans coming from Jakarta to watch him, to also enjoy this island. And he's on his own, so he's got that challenge of having to do the full hours race. Interesting to see Sean jump into this field and not just dominate. He's come from the world of GP2. He's come from being a Formula 1 test driver. He's obviously done WEC, but he's being kept honest by our field.
Yeah, I mean, it really speaks to the level of the field, as we always see in GT World Challenge Asia. I mean, we have factory drivers from Europe here, so the level is really high, but it's great to see Sean here. We can't miss him at Mandalika, so let's see what he can do in Quali 1.
Cars then heading out onto circuit. A little reminder for you that if you are a Pro-Am or a Silver Am entry, then it is the AM driver who will be in this first qualifying session. If you are in an AM, then of course it's going to be an AM, and if you're in a Silver, then it'll be a Silver driver. Therefore, we need to look out for the Silver drivers in this first qualifying session, because logic suggests that they will be the fastest drivers in this session. Of the Silvers, we have a grid of 4, I think. Maybe 5 Silvers. No, 4. I was right the first time. 2 of which, as we've mentioned previously, are on their own. So we're going to see Sean, we're going to see Akish Nandi, who was so strong, got pole position in this session in Sepang. There he is, waiting for the cars to head out onto circuit to find himself some clear air. How's he found the physicality of being on his own? Because that was one of his big worries. We know the Lamborghini is physical to drive. Did it really take it out of him in Sepang?
I mean, Sepang was very tough. We saw quite high humidity there combined with the high temperatures. I mean, Akash is very well trained, so he can do it, but certainly after a 1 hour race with this field, it does take a toll on you. But I think he's more prepared for this round now. And let's see how he can do. It will also be interesting to see how Sean does. Of course, he has a lot of long stint experience from WEC, so this should be no problem for him as well.
And Sean joining GT World Challenge Europe a couple of weekends ago alongside Arthur Leclerc and Lila Wadu in an AF course run Ferrari. Because, you know, we think of Sean as a BMW driver because of his WEC links, but he has now made the switch in GT World Challenge terms anyway into the Ferrari brand. So this is not his first time in a Ferrari, worth pointing out, but it is his first time racing in Indonesia. Imagine that. He's Indonesian.
That's a surprise to me.
I mean, there's not many options in terms of racetracks to have the chance to go racing, right?
Yeah.
And so himself and Rio Haryanto waving the flag. There is David Cipto Bantioro, whose car it is, whose we would usually see in this car. So it's very interesting that they decided, rather than the two of them teaming up and becoming a Silver Am entry, that David would stand back, take the weekend off, and potentially compromise his AM championship by doing that to allow Sean to be out there and show what he can do. First lap's coming in. Look out also for Andy Dung Yi in the 96 Ferrari. He is the third of our silver entries. Obviously looking here at Rong Huang, who is our championship leader. Brand new livery to get used to for this weekend. Sean goes over the line with his first lap, being well followed by Andy Dung. And right behind him, Dung is the fastest man on circuit by half a second over Sean. The fourth of our silvers to watch out for is the... sorry, there is five. There is 5 silvers this weekend because we've got the Nissan 500 and it's Aoki in that car. We saw him last time out. And of course, then we've got the combination of James Yu Kwai and Frankie Cheng in the number 16 Audi. At the moment, they haven't set a lap time. Now it looks as though Sean is on a bit bigger push lap, and he's pulled away from Andy Dung behind him. So purple sector 1 by 7.5 tenths of a second. Let's have a look at how this Ferrari looks, Sean. How he's sort of coping, because I visibly saw yesterday, Sandy, that the cars were moving around quite a lot.
Yeah, correct. Especially in that pre-qualifying session there, we see a little wiggle as well. Let's see, out of 14, he keeps it very clean there. But yes, we saw some sliding around. The temps got hot in that pre-qualifying session, but now we are in the cool morning, so we should see some good lap times today. I
mean, you say it's cool, it's 30 degrees air temperature already, yeah. 40 degrees on the track. We're expecting 50 odd degrees when we come to racing later on. Over the line, Sean goes 4 seconds faster than Andy behind him, but Andy was on a slower lap and look, gets right onto the tail of Akish Nandi, who's not particularly well placed there. Nandi in traffic as he's about to start his lap.
Yeah, not the best. Seems some are letting him through, but yeah, quite a big train coming through T456 here.
Over the line goes Brian Lee in the number 10 BMW. Has sort of got a standout performance from last year with that podium position in the Porsche, and then having been years and years in the Porsche, switching over to BMW. There's Sean's girlfriend, partner, who I'm led to believe is a famous actress in Indonesia. And so there is Akish then. I don't think this is going to be a push lap because he started himself in a pretty awkward position. Car in front is Frankie Chen, I think, in the 16 Audi. No, the 16 and the 15 are running together. So Andres Pato otherwise known as various other names. Another Indonesian representative this year. He was Filipino 1 year and has raced for various different flags. The two of them, Pato and Chen, running together just ahead of him. So they're going to come across the line and register effectively their first lap times. Pato 13 seconds back. Frankie Chen now up to 4th. And actually Pato, unbelievably, faster than Frankie Chen on that lap. Pato up to 2nd position, 9/10 off Sean Gelael. I'm led to believe not only is that the fastest lap time of this session, it's the fastest lap time of the weekend for Sean Gelael, a 1:28.1, mighty. Now, difficult to compare last time we were here to this time. Different compound of Pirelli tyre. It was introduced in Fuji last year, the new compound. We had it at the start of the season of the European season, but it didn't filter through to here until a little bit later on. And so they're coming to this circuit with a brand new tyre and having to learn how that feels versus last year's. Now, Sandy, not a huge amount of experience in last year's tyres?
No, a little bit of experience, as I believe we use the same compound in TSS.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this new DHG compound is fairly easy to get up to grips with. It seems to last longer, I believe, than the DHF, and we haven't noticed a massive amount of deg around this circuit.
Now, this is concerning for me. And it looks as though, just as we can see on the onboard there, flicking down the gears, but potentially nothing happening for the 500 Nissan. I noticed that in practice yesterday, they only got a couple of laps in. They weren't very strong in pre-qualifying, and they have not set a lap time yet. That really is a big worry for not only the Nissan, but you've just pointed out to me, Sean Gelael's lap time has been disallowed. He goes back up to the head of the field, but so race control a little bit behind there. Lap time 3 disallowed. Sean Gelael goes back up to the top with that last attempt, and actually it's even faster than his previous.
Really cracking lap, honestly. That's the fastest we've seen all weekend, and I was expecting people to get into the 27s.
Anthony Liu dipping a wheel into the gravel, coming out of that. Well, it's the slowest part of the lap, really, the big hairpin down by the beach. And it's weird. I saw a couple of cars go off there on Thursday practice. What makes that so challenging?
It's so easy to do. I mean, you're braking very late into there, just after 100 meters, and you want to get a good exit, but it's easy to get a bit too keen mid-corner, grab the throttle early, and then that'll push you wide, as we just saw.
And you're sort of just then stepping your way towards the gravel.
Yeah.
It's lovely, I have to say, to have gravel on the edge of that corner, because so much of this circuit, not lovely for drivers and not lovely for teams, because gravel rash is expensive, but just to have a boundary.
Yeah, no, they need more of it, especially in Sector 1. So
it's a motorbike track.
Yeah.
So curbs are completely flat. You walk on them and they're just painted in the curb shape, and there's really no friction to them. Of course, they do some pretty big damage curbs to motorbike riders when they're sliding along the tarmac. So that's why we are the way we are. You'll see little yellow markers on the inside of the turns, which are 75mm bollards. They were 95 at the start of the week, but teams requested that they were lowered because they were just catching splitters and things like that. A good deterrent from at least giving you drivers markers as to where you can and can't be.
Yes, it does help out, and really helps to keep the cars within the white lines.
Timer on Yamaguchi, the number 5 BMW. Here he is. Team Study, sorry for pronouncing that for many years completely wrong. Team Study Plus, not Stude. And I have to say, we don't get a chance to see this wonderful livery as much as we really would want to, because ultimately they just seem to be slightly one step behind. They're a team, the two of drivers that have been with GT World Challenge from the very beginning, from when Sandy was driving in the championship back in 2017. And so it's always wonderful to have them with us. But Tomo Yamaguchi taking this session, and then Seiji Ara is the pro in the next session. And 14th position, that's good for them, actually. And they are second of the BMWs. It's particularly, this livery is, we were just talking about sim racing. This livery is a throwback to Fortnite, and has been used in sim racing already and has been taken from sim racing into the real world. There's that Nissan, still without a lap time. Oh no, and 4 minutes remaining in the session. That is going to be a red flag, I'm sure of it. The 25 that looks so strong for Porsche Center Okazaki in the gravel. And we need to respond to that quickly to allow us to get one more lap in when we go back to green. And I'm not sure we are going to, because if we red flag it with, well, actually the lap is quite quick, 1 minute 28. So even 20 seconds. Let's get the red flag out. I think race control here are possibly winding the clock down. So if you red flag it with 3 minutes to go, then there's not going to be an opportunity to go and get a lap done. Andy Dung was on a personal best sector 1 to try and challenge Galile's pole position lap. There is Andy. Red flag now called, but how long remaining? I think it was less than 3 minutes. Oh, it was just over 3 minutes.
Just enough.
Why wait for 25 seconds? Because now it's really tight. That allows the first car out potentially to do something.
Yes.
But if you're 5th or 6th in the line, you're not.
No.
And the Nissan needs that time. The Nissan really needs to get a lap time because it hasn't had a lap time. I know that Amy is down in pit lane for us this weekend. Lovely to have Amy for the first time in Mandalika. Missed it last year as she was heavily pregnant. So she can go digging at Nissan and find out potentially what is going on down there, because they had problems in practice. We've got they've only got 2 laps on the board. Definitely something gear related, but I guess the actuator is an electrical thing, right? You flick the paddle, that sends us an electrical instruction to the gearbox. And so, in theory, therefore, it's an electrical issue rather than a hydraulic issue, or would it be a hydraulic?
Difficult to say.
Okay.
I also don't know too much about the GTR GT3, but I really hope they can get that car up and running again, because they had strong pace yesterday.
And do not forget, they led most of race 1 last year until the last corner, and then got turned around. So a shake of the head from Anders Pato. I don't know whether that's a shake of the head because he's done so well. He's 7th position, so that's 2nd Pro-Am, only behind Anthony Liu. I mean, again, he's a man, even though his history and bio will say he's never raced before in his life, Andreas Pato has been known by various aliases over the years, and he's one of the most experienced drivers in our field. 38 races to his name. This would be start number 39 this weekend. And he has wins to his name. 2 wins with James Yu Kwai back in 2023. Race Control are hoping to get this session restarted. I think you're going to have to be super, super fast to react, because there's only going to be, with 1 minute 28 of a flying lap, and 3 minutes left on the clock. Basically, you need to get across. Oh no, hang on, no, we've got time. We've got time. You need to get across the line within 3 minutes.
So I think everyone will get 1 lap. Maybe the first few cars will be able to get 2 if they really push on the out lap. But yeah, most cars will get 1 more attempt, I believe.
Are you going to get the tyre performance in 1 lap, though?
You have to do quite a big job warming them up now. They should be relatively hot still, so I think they'll get up to speed pretty quickly.
So this is the one problem of the gravel. We're just lamenting how great it is to have gravel, but it does require us a red flag. And, you know, no harm done to that Porsche. It's absolutely fine. It just needs to hopefully drive offline and shake away offline.
Do a break off.
There we go.
Yeah, nice.
Give it a bit of a wiggle. And actually, there's not very much gravel in that car at all. The worst, as you well know. Probably I know better having gravel in my brake pads and discs than you, because I spent a lot of time of my racing career in gravel traps. And it's the most horrible noise. We're going to get a green flag on a short call here. So we are getting Song Jae-jun in the Evo number 72 Ferrari. That, by the way, is not blue. It's iridescent. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. And so it changes colour, basically. So it looks blue in that camera angle, and it'll be different again. Andy Dung is still aboard. Sean Galile's not going back out. Akish Nandi doesn't look like he's going back out. Third position, by the way, for Akish. Not sure we told you that. But Galile is half a second faster than Dung and Akish Nandi, and then Frankie Chen in fourth position. The four silvers at the front of the field, as you would expect. The Nissan isn't in that queue, though. That's really a shame. Oh, no, it gets dropped off the jacks now at the back of shot. And that's the real critical one for me. All these AM drivers, it's not that I don't care about them, but they're not going to challenge for pole position. But the 500 Nissan could if they fix the issue.
Yes.
3 minutes left of the session. No hanging around necessary. The Nissan is still in the pit lane in the back of shot there. We're watching Setuan Santosho there in the number 8 Mercedes. Of course, he's also a local. And out the pits with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. It's going to have to be a sprightly lap out the pits. And it will be worth staying on board to see if he can get up and down the gears, because it did seem as though that was the issue for him. Let's have a listen.
No.
No.
Damn. That's a shame.
Just look at his right hand there.
No.
He's flapping the flappy paddles, and there is nothing happening.
Oh no, and now he has to do the whole lap in first gear.
And stay well away from the train of cars that are coming behind him. So that is a big, big story. And of course, qualifying 2 coming up.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not just compromising one of his races. That could be a full weekend compromised. Here is Ron Huang, 911 in 8th position. Just one car ahead of him out on circuit. Ron wanting to improve here. Championship leaders with Alessandro Goretti. They got themselves victory in race 1 and a 3rd position. It's so interesting to see, though, how he's been able to adapt so quickly to the Porsche, having been in Lamborghini last year.
Yeah, no, really impressive by Ron. I mean, just showing his level as one of the best AM drivers, if you can call him that.
Definitely the stronger level of AM competitor. But when you compare him to he goes off on the gravel.
Oh no.
Keeps the car facing the right direction, but that kills his lap time. It wasn't a better sector 1, but there might have been an opportunity. We've got Vutakorn and Prudhosak in 12th position, improving. So he's the one to watch out for, because there's no way Ron's going to be improving now. I wonder where he is in traffic. Great pickup there. 3rd car back. And therefore 2 cars ahead of him, traveling fast. Shouldn't be being held up, and could well get over the line for a 2nd lap here for Vutti. Middle sector, not wonderful. And actually, he's compromised that last corner, hasn't he? He's lining himself up for another go here. Yeah. Over the line. Ron Huang's going to get another lap. So is... Oh.
Hey, what?
No. Flag? Did the flag come out early there?
Yes. We had 30 seconds left.
Okay. Well, Prudhosak has got the flag, but Ron Huang has not. Ron Huang, I think, perhaps is the only car there to get over the line before Ansong in the 72.
Wow.
So just 2 cars got over the line before the checkered flag was shown. And let's see now what these 2 can do. Improvement further down for the 27 of Li Chao in his Mercedes. Still 3rd of the Mercedes trio that we have here. Mercedes leading global points, which is the combination of all the different championships across the world. And Ron, almost exactly the same sector 1 as he did last time, but didn't put wheel in the gravel coming out of turn number 10. So this should be a better middle sector. Breaks the beam here, and it is a green middle sector. Where's this going to put him? Still going to be probably a row of improvement. Something I hadn't noticed William Ben Porter, the AM driver, 6th position on this grid.
Yep.
And we know he's a very strong AM, but that is a mighty performance from Ben. Ron, I think, is going to end up ahead of him. Over the line comes the 911. Is he the best Pro-Am? No. He does go ahead of William Ben Porter, but behind Anthony Liu. So Anthony Liu getting the Pro-Am pole position. Alessandro Goretti getting himself ready to jump into that car. But would you believe that the AM pole is just a couple of positions back? Well, lots of stories to dissect out of that one, namely Sean Galile's mega qualifying lap. How good is that going to be in compared to the pros?
Yeah, I think he's going to do very well in the next session as well.
I was surprised because I didn't know, but I was surprised to see that he was a silver until I dug into it and then saw that he was an FIA silver, so it's logical.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's been around so long,
yeah.
like even longer than Akish Nandi.
Yes.
And Akish is not even 30.
Yeah.
And neither Sean, actually. He's not yet got to his 30th birthday, but did he not do so many years in GP2
yes.
that he wasn't allowed to do any more?
I don't know, but
I think he did his full maximum 6 years.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of experience and, clearly showing what performance he has.
Yeah. Yeah, years and years in GP2 until basically there is a limit on the amount of years you can do. And there's actually an age limit in GP2 as well, but racing drivers these days are so young and sprightly that nobody gets close to it. And then he moved across to LMP in European Le Mans Series, and then has moved across into GT. And so Sean now jumping from a BMW one weekend in WEC to a Ferrari in a completely different championship, getting his head around things. A busy boy then this year. Actually went to university in Bath in the UK, if you're interested. There's a sailing boat. I haven't seen many sailing boats. I'm a big sailor myself, going sailing next Wednesday. And I was wondering why there wasn't more sailing boats around the island of Lombok.
Looking a little choppy out there.
Yeah, it's also looking a little windy, which is lovely for him. We might even get a kite out on Kite Beach because it's right at the back there. Right, here are our qualifying pole people. You can see Anthony Liu has a new teammate for this weekend. More on that in a second. Sean Galile, fastest silver and on pole position. The best silver AM for Craft Bamboo Racing. And where are they? Down in 10th position for, was that Liang Jai Tong? No, it would have been Dean Chen, wouldn't it? Gosh, what a great performance from Dean Chen as well. And then the rest of your top 10 there. Best BMW for Ranjan Fan in 11th position. Vutakorn ended up 12th. I think we might have a little bit of a protest from Vutti, because I'm sure he had another lap in him at the end of that session. No real big surprises. Looking down that list, 2.6 seconds separate the 21 cars. And unfortunately, the Nissan with this gearbox issue. So Kimya Sato will be taking that car out for the next session. A new name to GT World Challenge, although you may remember Kimya as a Sauber Formula 1 test driver. I can't believe we keep talking about Formula 1 in GT World Challenge Asia. It's amazing. Of course, Sean Galile testing for Toro Rosso a few years ago. But Kimya Sato may not get a chance to qualify in that Nissan. And in 22nd spot. So just off the back of this circuit is Kite Beach, and the reason they do kite surfing on that particular beach is because the breakwater, where the waves break, is quite far out, and so there's an area where you can do kiting on flat water, and then if you're feeling sprightly, you head out to the waves and do some jumps. But I've seen that beach for 3 days now. I haven't seen a kite on it.
No.
So a huge amount of surfing. In fact, when you come into Kuta, come into the I suppose village. That's what my guide said to me on Wednesday. The village of Kuta. There is a statue of Mick Flanagan. Sorry to all you surf fans if I've got that wrong. Very famous surfer who spent a lot of time here at the surf break at this circuit, basically. and it was him that discovered and made famous Lombok as a surfing destination. And I tell you what, say goodbye to Bali. If ever you've got an itch and a scratch to go to Bali, don't.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
It's just cooler.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Less crowded. You still get the vibe. So, no, it's a fantastic location.
This is your first time on the island?
Yes.
Wow.
My first ever time here. Only been to Jakarta before in Indonesia.
You haven't done Bali either?
No, I have not.
Ah. Yeah, Bali is... this is how I went to Bali when I was 20. And this is like Bali was when I was 20.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm now 20 years older. And it's changed a lot in 20 years. Right, pros in the car. So, big changes in quite a few of the lineups because we've got GT World Challenge Europe happening this weekend at Brands Hatch. So, some of our pros have got double bubble going on, double duty. And so we don't have Dorian Boccolacci, for instance, in the number 37 with Anthony Liu. We have Luke Hartog, who is already Porsche Carrera Cup North America champion. He's raced in GT World Challenge Europe and in GT World Challenge America and is incredibly tall as well as incredibly fast. He's recently become a Porsche Junior and very excited to see how he'll stack up. It's his first start in GT World Challenge Asia, but we've also got Klaus Bachler back in the 918 as a partner to Wutterkorn in Preuvesac. Here's a fun stat for you. Klaus did 2 weekends with Wutti in 2023. One of the weekends, he took a race victory in Suzuka. So that's not a bad record. 4 starts, 1 win.
Yeah.
With Wutti as well. Who else is new? Jesse Krohn, we say welcome back to in the BMW in the 89 car, replacing Neil Verhagen. Jesse was on the podium of the very, very first GT World Challenge Asia race back in 2017 in a BMW. But BMW has never won a GT World Challenge Asia race ever from 2017 all the way to now. So I wonder whether partnering Tony Ruan today or tomorrow could be the day. Whilst the cars get up to speed for this second session, let's go down to Anthony Liu, who's got the Pro-Am pole.
So here with Anthony, P5 starting overall in that, and you're going to start the race of the Pro-Ams in front. So how do you feel about your pole session?
I want to shoot myself because I made a really silly mistake and lost 210. I could have been easy front row. Pole not possible, but second place front row easy. So.
All right, then let's roll that around in the race, and then I wish you all the best luck.
Yeah, but we have 5K slower top speed compared to all the cars in front, so it's not going to be able to pass.
Yeah. But you have a lot of people rooting for you, so good luck.
Thank you so much.
Racing drivers.
I have to have
Gotta have an excuse in your pocket.
ready. Yeah, have to. That's when you know he's a real racing driver.
Drive-through penalty for these 4 cars. For a penalty for the fast lane. I think they went into their fast lane too early.
Yes, I think so.
I don't think I've seen a drive-through penalty in a qualifying session before, but it's basically disrupted that first push lap.
Yeah.
Sean Galisle still leads that trio. Nandi already on a push lap. Bachler already on a push lap. Piccirillo is with us, which is wonderful. So Lu Wei and Alessio potentially could win the championship together if Alessio doesn't have any more clashes elsewhere. Have I covered off all the drivers, the changes of drivers? Other than Yuichi Nakayama is the new pro in the number 18 Porsche Center Okazaki. And Nandi does a 130.0, so that's still a well off where we would expect to see. In the pits, I think I saw Hartog. So the 37 also had a drive-through penalty, I'm presuming, or has gone in to change tyre pressures. We saw that with some of the pros in Sepang, didn't we? Sort of a semi-push lap, back into the pits, reset the tyre pressure, and then go back out again.
Yeah, quite a interesting strategy, but if it works, it works.
Also, we saw Goretti change tyres in qualifying too.
Yes,
last,
yes,
in
we
Sepang.
did.
You have a limited amount of tyres that you're allowed to use across a weekend, but you can use them at any point of the weekend, so whether it be pre-qualifying or race 2. And so it was interesting to see Goretti take 2 sets of new tyres, and it definitely compromised them in race 2. But they took victory and a 3rd position, so it didn't compromise them that bad.
Yeah, no, the track position I think here will also be quite important. So we will likely see quite a few cars jumping into the pits around, about 2 minutes or so to put on that second set and go again.
Interesting. So we are expecting to see a bit more of that. Here is Klaus Bachler in Vutti's Porsche, and that is pole position, 128.6, still 0.6 of a second slower than what we saw from Sean Gelael in qualifying 1. Max Hussein, always a star in the BMW. He's switched teammates, kept in the same team and almost the same livery as he had last year. Hussein up to 2nd position with a 28.7. But we're still waiting for many drivers to get up to speed. Jesse Krohn is going well. Here he is in the 89, the partner BMW at KRC. And Krohn has a purple first sector. Wow, right on the edge of the circuit through the exit of turn number 10. That's what these pros are good at, that the AMs just struggle with, is finding the very limit of adhesion. Should also see less track limit infringements in this session, because pros are good boys, right? Very much on the edge of 14 as well. It's a green middle sector for Krohn. Now into this tricky braking zone, braking and turning into the final couple of corners. Really strains that left front tyre. Keeps quite tight to the right-hand side there.
Yeah, big prep for the last corner.
Jackson Evans up to provisional pole position, but Krohn goes faster, and he goes faster than Gelael at 27.9. Beating Jackson Evans by 0.05 of a second. Elias Sapainen in the Mercedes up to 3rd position, and then James Yu Kwai in the Audi 4th. Great effort from 2 silvers there on row 2, but we've got quite a few pros still preparing themselves for their laps. Nissan in the pits with Kimya Sato, so again the 500 struggling with a problem with the gearbox, we think. And Yessi on another push. Looks less on the limit through 7, 8 and 9 than I remember last year. Last year really felt as though those cars were moving around over the rise there. But this year it looks much more planted, whether that's to do with the tyres or whether they just dialed the car in a bit more. Jackson Evans' Audi moving around a lot. Of course, these R8s four-wheel drive on the road, but not on the racetrack. Thought about buying one of these the other day. Not a GT3 car, but a road car.
Yeah,
because they're really cheap now.
Yeah.
Jackson, an improvement in sector 1, but just missing a little bit through the 2nd sector. Now out the final turn. Does he improve a little bit? Yes, pole position for Jackson Evans.
Will he keep it though?
Nearly a 10th faster than Jesse Krohn. It's amazing to see the different manufacturers and different brands at the head of the field. Audi, one of the oldest cars that there is on the grid, and yet Jackson wringing the neck of it. Racing in Australia as well. There's the Nissan still trying to solve their problems. Amazing, this car is nearly a decade old.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's got a problem.
Yeah.
Suddenly a problem that they're struggling to diagnose as well.
After being so strong at Sepang, it's really unfortunate.
I was so tipping that car for a good result here.
Yeah.
Luke Hartog up to pole position in Anthony Liu's Porsche. I thought Anthony Liu said that the car was slow. Apparently not. Picarello. See, I spoke to Alessandro already and said, I'm sorry. Alessio, I'm going to get your name. I got both names wrong now. Focusing so much on saying Luke. Change of tyres there for Akish Nandi.
Yeah.
Alessio's going to have to go again here, I think. because that is not good enough. Down in 7th position as well. Just hearing from pit lane that the 500 went back into its garage between the 2 qualifying sessions. That is not allowed. You have to stay outside on the apron. And so they have been told they're not allowed to go back out onto circuits. But that doesn't necessarily, I mean, I didn't feel as though that they'd fixed the problem. So they had been out on circuit with Kimi Sato and back in again. Adli Fong, here he is in the 13 Ferrari. In the Evo, we've got Evos and then non-Evos out on circuit. And a lot of cars coming in, as you predicted, Sandy, to get those tyres on. So that then compromises the rest of the race weekend, right?
Yes, so they'll have one less new tyre set to use in the races. But again, you exchange track position for tyre condition.
Yeah. In practice, and obviously test day on Thursday, they get 4 sessions of 1 hour, and then they've got official practice on Friday, pre-qualifying, which is sort of a practice session. Yeah. Will you run a long run in there? Because you can't do half an hour long run, can you?
I mean, it really depends. A lot of the teams will look at timing, so they'll probably do a quali sim at a similar time that we're having quali now.
Right.
But as we saw yesterday, it looked like some cars opted to put a new set on the pre-quali just to dial in the setup before going out for this morning's qualifying.
Oh, Luke! That will be a lap time disallowed. Will it, actually? Because I don't know whether they're monitoring that particular corner.
It should be.
It should be, yeah. We saw it. You know, letter of the law these days, your track limits are being monitored only at certain corners because you can't monitor every corner. So race control says we are going to be watching these corners.
Wow.
And
that was interesting.
And look at that, he's not lost any time.
Completely different line in the penultimate corner than most of the other cars.
And he doesn't improve, so no worries the fact that he went off the circuit. Jackson Evans is on an improvement here, though. In the number 15 machine. Not, by the way, Mitch Evans' brother, as some may assume. That's Simon Evans, who did some racing in electric racing as well. Jackson, actually an adopted brother of John O'Lester. Or no, sorry, cousin of John O'Lester, who was racing with us back in the day. And so got into racing thanks to his adopted parents.
Wow,
which is
that's cool.
Yeah, nice Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
And Jackson is on the front row here and stays on the front row. I'm not sure whether the traffic would have compromised him at all. Klaus Bachler. Whoa, big slide there as he just loses the rear end under braking. That's what we were seeing in pre-qualifying. And not something I remember seeing much of last year. The car's moving around so much more. By the way, track temperature is up 7 degrees on what it was when we started this session. And it's going to get even hotter. I'm particularly interested by the race later on today, starting at 1:30 local time, by the way. It is, at the moment, just coming up to 10 o'clock local time. So 3.5 hours time is when we'll do race 1. And right in the heat of the day. Absolutely in the heart of the heat. So Luke Hartog backing off. But I tell you what, Dorian Boccolacci, I know that you're watching, Dorian. Maybe not live because it is the middle of the night, but you will be watching. I think you'll be a little bit annoyed at how Luke has gone here. Dorian has spent nearly 2 years trying to get that car on the top step of the podium for Anthony Liu and had come close many times, but then saw this guy, fellow countryman Alessio Gueretti, coming in and getting a win on his first try in a Porsche, which would have annoyed him even more.
Definitely.
And now in his car, in his seat, although I imagine it's probably not exactly his seat because Luke's got about 7-foot legs to get into the Porsche. And Luke has, I think, possibly got pole position. No counting chickens yet. Akish Nandi is on a lap still, but Nandi's down in 14th position. might see a few changes. Goretti is going to improve his lap time here. Was 12th, up to 7th position. But yeah, half a second off Hartog. There's Lang Chaitong over the line for 13th, followed by the number 22. And that is Wang Zhongwei in that car. Only 19th this time. That was a starring AM performer in Sepang last time with in the end, a 15th and an 18th. But they must have had I don't remember exactly what happened there, but they were running really, really high up at one point. Here's Akash Nandi then. Didn't really see much of him in the first session. Nandi gunning for overall championship as a solo silver. A reminder that in the pit stop, when we get there, he will have to get out the car and get back in again. And actually, his pit stop will be slightly shorter than Sean Galile's, because Galile is a new entry, so he will have a slightly longer pit stop.
Yeah.
Goretti again on another push lap, but 0.4 of a second off in the middle sector, and everyone around him from first down to 9th in pit lane. The checkered flag is out, so those out on track, this is the last attempt. I'm interested to see Liu Kaishan down in 17th position with a purple middle sector as Goretti gets a purple final sector to improve up to 6th position ahead of Picariello. But let's find the 96 Ferrari. Also a silver, don't forget. Where's this going to put him? Up to 5th position. Great effort. Silver pole position ahead of Sean Galile.
Wow.
Liu Kai-shun is on his 2nd start in GT World Challenge Asia, and I think it's his 2nd start in a GT car. Comes from Lamborghini Super Trofeo, and that is mega.
Yeah.
And the Ferrari did very well last year with Patrese, I think getting a pole position, and then had an issue at the start of the race and dislodged some bodywork, so didn't get the result. It was Porsche's across the board last year, won both races here. But then when you actually, it's one of those things, if I hadn't been at the circuit, if I hadn't done the commentary, I'd think, oh, well, Porsche were really strong. But actually, I remember that it was the Ferrari, it was the BMW, it was the Nissan that were the stars of the show. Porsche just picked up the points. So Liu Kaishan, silver pole position. Hopefully that lap doesn't get disallowed, because there is still that possibility being such late in the game. The pole position for Luke Hartog. Silver AM pole position to the number 13 Harmony Racing of Adli Fong. And AM pole to that 22 pink Porsche that we were talking about. If you want to know where Galile ended up, 6th position behind the two win here Harmony Ferraris. Brendan Leach in 4th. We didn't talk about him, but great effort from the New Zealander. Jesse Crone 3rd. Jackson Evans 2nd, and Luke Hartog on the pole. Goretti 7th, Picariello 8th. It's a good strong performance from Adli Fong there.
Yeah.
3rd silver driver, but best silver AM just ahead of Maxu Sen. Ferrari's looking good there, 4 in the top 10. And surprised to see Backler down in 12th. Elias Sepanen was fastest in pre-qualifying, only 16th in the Mercedes.
He got his lap time deleted, unfortunately. I believe young Elias had a 28.0, which would have put him quite a bit further up.
And right at the back was the winner of the China GT race a couple of weeks ago, Mike Zhou, qualifying the AM pairing of Setuen Santosho, down in 20th spot. So as I said, 3.5 hours you've got before we go racing for race number 1. Race number 2, slightly earlier in the day. I think it's only an hour earlier in the day, but that obviously happening on Sunday. And if you're watching us on YouTube and you are in the vicinity, I know a lot of Indonesians consume their all motorsport on YouTube. Here are the highlights then of our qualifying session. And Sean Gullisle, the big star of the show, in the number 50 Ferrari. In qualifying 1, being followed by Andy Dung, and setting an absolutely storming lap time. First lap time deleted, second lap time good enough for pole position. It would have been actually good enough for 7th position in the second session of qualifying. And he went only a fraction faster in the second session. Akish Nandi will line up behind him on the second row. That was the mistake from Anthony Liu in his 37 Porsches. This is qualifying 1, but Liu did end up being the Pro-Am pole holder. And then we had a red flag with 3 minutes remaining for the number 25 that just spun gently into the gravel. When we went back to green flag, the 911 of Ron Huang pushing to try and improve his lap time, making a mistake and dipping his wheel into the gravel trap. The second lap time was a fraction better, but it only pushed him up 1 position. Pole position for race 1 to Sean Gullisle. He was at the front row again for the second qualifying session, but the first 4 cars ended up with a drive-through penalty for being in the wrong position or in the fast lane too early. And so that wouldn't have had too much of an effect, but it did shuffle the pack slightly. Jackson Evans in the number 15 Audi on a big push lap to get pole position provisionally. And amazing to see those 4 rings still strong. Luke Hartog, this was the lap that he had disallowed, but 1 lap before was strong enough to be pole position by 0.08 of a second over Jackson Evans. It's a Porsche and Audi on the front row. Jesse Krohn and Brendan Leach on row 2. And no improvement from our championship leaders, the 911 down in 7th position for Alessandro Giretti. Only 3.5 tenths back, however. Field split, first to 18th, 1.5 seconds. It is a nice short lap, actually. Quite often when we get onto Formula 1 tracks in GT cars, they end up being like 2-minute laps, don't they? But quite fun to be able to only have a 1.5 lap.
Yeah, I think it will change the dynamic of the race a little bit too. They do more laps over the race distance, so I think will be a fun one to watch.
Well, let's go down to Amy, who has got the incredibly tall Luke Hartog to chat to.
With the pole sitter for race 2. First of all, you're very tall. How do you fit in that car? But congratulations.
For already quite some time, it seems to work. But yeah, I'm happy. I mean, it's first time here in GT World Challenge Asia, and to start it like this is a pretty good track record. I mean, I didn't expect it going into qualifying, I have to be honest. I thought the margins were going to be very tight, but very happy. We just nailed everything together. But yesterday, we were actually not so sure if we would be in contention for fighting for the pole position. I think in the races actually we were a bit stronger than qualifying, so this came a bit as a surprise, but I knew when I put the lap down it was a really good one, so just very happy, and yeah, it's a good team effort, this one.
Congratulations and good luck at the races.
Thank you.
I have never seen anyone as tall as the Rover Pole Award inflatable. Unbelievable. We've just got a couple of seconds remaining. Sandy, looking forward to the races?
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for the start.
Good stuff. Join us in 3.5 hours for race number 1 here from Mandalika, the island of surf and sun.